I warned, well, everyone here that this episode was going to be a heavy one, a real tearjerker, and we'll get to the heavy stuff later. But I want to start with a little bit of levity. So, Brock, things you noticed, things you liked about this episode.
I did laugh at Hunter very much being friends with all of Luce's friends and not Luce. And he sent here, do not met the myriad of messages, do not message me. And then, oh, sorry, that was someone else.
Their dynamic is great. They're basically they're basically brother and sister.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
cool. I got a kick out of that.
I also liked how the Light twins, they're like, oh, take this. And it's just like you to see them like
Use
preteen,
concealer
go through
acne.
puberty and everything.
The love of those, like, my geek shirt. The other one is my god awful acne. I'm like, I felt you, girl. I was one pizza face individual when I was a freshman in high school.
I
For
don't
anyone
think
going through it, honest to God, would help me stop drinking soda.
really.
I went off soda for a year and a half, and my acne just disappeared and never came back.
Oh,
No
must
comment.
have,
I
must
was
have been
one
the
of the
sugar.
I was one of the
Yeah.
fortunate ones. I don't really get it. I didn't break out like that.
Brag about it.
And that's why I'm like, I can't really speak on that because
I'm not gonna say I never had acne. I just never got the pizza face.
Oh my!
yeah, like I ever got like very little, but not that.
I'll get it periodically now, but not compared to what I did. That, like, I even got back to drinking soda hard, but that one hard cleanse. I'm off soda again now, but probably gonna be permanent. But like, I even went back on it hard and never came back. I don't know what it was. But the sheer
Yeah.
amount of sugar was just.
I know it's different for everyone when it comes to like
Yeah.
acne and all that. So
Oh yeah, don't worry. I just had acne. I'm losing my hair. I can't tan. Fine. It's fine.
It's fine. Everything's fine.
Everything's fine. I hit the genetic jackpot. I have a really bad sinus tract. I got dealt all the right
Beetle.
cards. No, that's family tradition. Everyone in my family sinus tract sucks. It's great. It's great.
Getting back to the episode, I like how the Blight twins are becoming more involved in the adventures, specifically Edric, because this is the first time he's actually taken seriously,
yes.
and he's actually a lot more competent than
He's giving credit for.
exactly.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. I compared them to Emerald and Mercury from Ruby at first when we got them. Now, give or take, it took a half a season for them to get their shit together compared to the 6 seasons that it takes with the other two. One, we still know about the other, but it seems fairly obvious that he's going to get his shit together. But that's a different level of screwed up.
I'm trying to stall as much as possible, kind of like Luce in this episode, finding a distraction before having to address that.
We got to talk about the elephant in the room.
I will say, but they'll delay it a little bit. I saw, because again, the Google machine works the way the Google machine does, that someone was greatly appreciating showing a character having self-destructive tendencies. And they said it was Luce. And I'm like, I'm not getting towards where that episode is. And I'm like, I kind of want to see how they display this, because that is something that I'm god awful at.
Oh yeah, self-destruction. I can relate.
Yeah, I've been my entire life. It is probably the worst thing about me. I will destroy my life faster than anyone possibly can.
Same.
We're pretty much our own worst enemy.
So when they said that at some point that hits Luce, I'm like, when the frick are they doing this? And then, yeah, you tend to, through good means, destroy a lot of good things around people because you're not catching how stupid you're being. So I felt they showed it very well.
Not to spoil too much, but this is neither the first nor the last time you see Luce's self-destructive behavior.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like in one of the season 3 specials, again, not gonna spoil it, but they go places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it goes deeper on the subject.
Mm-hmm.
But just in general, that feeling of like really avoiding confronting something that's just very uncomfortable to talk about, we've all been there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To finally poke the elephant in the room, because we have to do this. Oh, not only that, like Luz also was pretty much avoiding the subject of, and like still processing the loss of her dad. Like she is, even though it happened a long time ago, she is still grieving.
Mm-hmm.
So rewatching this episode, it hit me a lot because for the people watching, my dad passed away a year and a half ago. So I related to Luz. Like I understand both sides of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like it doesn't matter how long ago it is, it still like sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And like yeah, like after a while, like you know how to like you know it's coming, but you just know like you have ways to manage it, but the pain will always still be there.
Yeah. It's not an easy thing to go through.
And
I, about a few years earlier, similar, not exactly similar paces, lost my dad as well. I wasn't as close as you were with yours, but it's still kind of that thing where even if I wasn't close, I'm still here because of that person.
yeah,
So
it's like at the end of the day, that's still like your parent, like your
yeah.
you're like your guardian, your blood.
Mm-hmm.
So like it doesn't like that type of loss hits differently compared to other losses. So that's why like Luz has every right to still feel how she feels.
Yeah, and it looks like it was incredibly young when she lost him.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
but
It's kind of like how for me, I lost both of my grandfathers at a young age. Like the 22nd anniversary of my mom's dad passing was just last week. So
damn.
I understand, like even though like years have gone by, it's still that pain of like missing a loved one doesn't just go away just because time has passed.
yeah.
Yeah.
And even like with Luz, like she was like, you like go to Amity, like you like in a way like you have your father.
Mhm.
Like get like he doesn't know like get him like make him like know who you are.
Yeah.
Type of thing. Like I didn't like take that opportunity before it's too late.
Yeah.
So that's why I truly see like know how Luz feels like in this episode because I'm on that. Because I'm a like I work in daycare. Like I'm now a preschool teacher. So like there are like moments like when I see like kids sad, they don't want to leave. Like they don't want to like come in and like they don't want to leave their dad. I'm like
Yeah.
it like I have to like just like this hurts.
Mm-hmm.
Like it still hurts. So that's why like I get it. Like now like I understand Luz's perspective compared to watching this episode the first time. I was like, oh that sucks, Luz.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a feeling that you don't properly know how to describe to someone, and you
Yeah.
can't say,
It's
"Oh,
like,
hey, you'll figure it out one day," because you don't
it's
want to say,
either
"Hey."
yeah, it goes into the type of thing like people are like, oh, I understand your pain, I know what you're going through, and you're
No.
like, no, you don't. You'll
You
never will until it literally happens to you.
Mhm.
yeah.
As like morbid as that like sounds to some people, like I get it, you're trying to like help and make someone feel better, but like that's not help it.
Mhm.
Everyone goes through grief differently. Even this year, I had two losses, both my grandmothers within 4 months.
Yeah.
So that like took a lot out of me this year,
Yeah.
and it's I'm still processing it all. It's kind of why scheduling wise a lot of my extracurricular activities have been very inconsistent
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah. No,
because this year's just been it's been a rough one.
I get you. And people, when they get to stuff like this, it feels like you're being an asshole. But like when someone tells you, so it would just be good if you felt better, or like that equivalent response where you're like, you'll be okay. I'm like, I know I will. I don't know when I'm going to be.
Yeah.
So don't keep telling me that. Say you're here for me. Don't say, oh, it's going to get better. I understand that. That's how life works. But it doesn't mean just because you said that tomorrow I'm going to be frolicking through fields.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like what people need is they need time, they need space, but they also need just like someone to just be there,
Yeah. And
like
like
when they need them.
Hmm.
yeah, like even if you don't know what to say to someone, like just don't say it. Just don't say it at all. Just be like, hey, if you need to talk, I'm here, and keep it at that.
Yeah, like there was a, not to take too far off, like a good friend of mine, Brian, when I posted on Facebook that my dad died, it was like, I want to say within 3 months of me changing my name and pretty much just cutting off all contact. I just pretty much put that I literally don't know how to feel because I probably haven't spoken with my dad in like 5 years at that point, and he
Yeah.
pretty much gone through the grapevine to let me know that it didn't matter if we ever talked again. And I didn't even know how to process how I felt. And I hadn't talked with Brian. He lives on the other end of the country in Texas. And just out of the blue called me because he saw the Facebook status. I'm like, hey, what's up? He's like, I saw Facebook. Why are you asking me what's up? Like, uh, like I don't know how to feel about it. He's like, I know you don't. Say what you need to say, dude. I'm just here to listen. I don't know what you need to do because I don't know what to say to you, but I'm not
Yes.
letting you not talk about this.
Yes.
So just say what you need to. And I didn't. We sat there for a good half an hour and I
Yeah.
barely got anything out. And I was just said a few things. He's like, I don't know if that was what you needed, but it would have been better than you just sitting in a room not doing anything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Grief is a
that's
thing that doesn't just have an off switch. It never
no.
does.
No, and like even like people like, oh, like it'll get better, like oh, like stuff will get better over time. Like okay, but like at the end of the day, like it's still not gonna change what happened.
You're gonna have moments where something like you could be good for 6 years and then like a Facebook memory comes up that it's gonna destroy you for a day.
Yeah.
Yep.
And some people are just, I don't want to say it's a good thing, but some people are just numb to stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like they aren't as sentimental, is not the right word. I don't know what the right word is. I want to
Yeah.
say
No, I do. No, I get where you come from. Like
emo-
people
like
handle
emotionally dead.
yeah, like people do handle grief in their own way differently. Like it also depends on like the person, if you're close, etc., etc.
Yeah.
type of thing. But like losing a parent, it's just different. It's just different.
Because like you're literally watching parts of, and none of us have kids, but like you're watching your literal family tree start to deteriorate, and then it's coming down on you.
Yeah.
It's a lot. And you don't start thinking about things that way until you start losing those parts of your family.
Yeah.
Because like that stability and like literal landmarks of your life are just gone.
It's very scary and overwhelming to think about that.
Yeah.
And also just how quickly things can change afterwards that you're not going to be ready for until it happens.
Yeah.
But like now rewatching this episode again, like I'm glad that like a kids show is like tackling stuff like this.
Yeah.
And they're treating it with the right amount of actual depth. They're not treating it like it's some silly thing they just got over.
Yeah, like they're not like sugarcoating it or making it like, you know, sunshining rainbows. Like it's a real thing.
It kind of reminds me a little bit of Bridge of Terabithia, where
the most wrongly trailered movie in history.
Dear God.
Like people think Transformers 1 was advertised badly. Bridge of Terabithia was just false advertising, period.
Yes. Oh my God. Like
but the point is there's a YouTuber by the name of Man of 1,000 Thoughts, and he kind of put it best in his video, breaking the fantasy. Like, yes, Luce is in a fantasy realm, the Boiling Isles, but she's still dealing with like real shit happening.
Yes. Which is nice to see because you still have some, and this is gonna bring back this isn't exactly the same thing, but like dealing with real moments like that, like when it comes out of nowhere in a show that doesn't deal with it, like we reviewed through Kill la Kill. When they had the moment with Mako, Ryoko, and I can't remember Keiji Tank's character off the top of my head, where like if all my before Ryuko came around, all the friends I ever had were in my head. Like that's a very real thing from one of the dumbest characters in anime history being said and treated with the right amount of brevity. Give or take, it goes back to being stupid because she like shoves a broom up his ass. But like in that moment, like they were being very real.
And I appreciate when shows do that. They will actually take the time to let these characters have vulnerable moments.
Yes.
Yeah.
But also, this is the Owl House, so you're going to have things as ridiculous as Edric adding fire bees to the potion.
It's always the bees, man. It's always the murder bees.
Bees!
Not the bees.
Always the bees.
Yeah, you get that. The wrestling thing, I was like, that's pretty sick. I thought that was kind of cool. The moment where Luce shoots out steam and then lets the old lady, and then she just falls off the stage.
I'm not gonna hit a lady, but I will push her off the stage.
Push her off the stage
for her safety.
That was it's a moment. I know this is a sidetracky episode of the sidetrackiest episodes. There's a game called Detroit Become Human, and there was this group of Let's Players that I used to watch called Super Best Friends, where in these games you have these QTEs where if you don't act on them, they act really stupid, like you can fail them. And there's at this one point where a guy's paralyzed from the waist down, and this android is holding him, and he stopped pressing the buttons, hoping the guy would drop him.
Oh my God, no!
But like he just freezes in time, and then like the guy goes, I'm not an advocate for dropping old people. I was trying LP funsies, and then the guy who was commentating with him, he's like, "Oh, really? I thought you were if I thought you were Matt. If they're in a chair, push them down the stairs, McMuscles."
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, that was great. I liked how they changed the appearances and changing the early version of the spoiler alert I have for Amity's new hair. I was very happy with. It's not as cool as what Amity's third season hair looks like because I got spoiled on that because Google's great with sorting shit. But yeah, the sorting things out, that was cool. The different type of fights and things, and yeah, it was a very tightly knitted episode. Like the A B plot basically happened at the same time in the same place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was cool. And then I was here's the thing. And I get why they probably forget about this for plot reasons. And I get that he's being brainwashed partially, but I was kind of partially thinking that after they came up with the truth serum, they were going to try and use it on Rain.
I have something to say, but we need to put a pin in that.
That just came into my head. I'm like, you could have saved part of that. I don't know if it worked. You could try it. I don't know if it would work on a guy who's having memory alteration, but hey, it's worth a shot. But yeah, anyway, that was my thought that I had.
Yeah, like with Rain, I feel like for now we gotta put a pin in that because it explains stuff later.
We're
Stuff
gonna get to that. We're gonna add that to the giant box, and we're gonna get to that later.
Yeah, unfortunately, yeah.
Actually, we're gonna get to that sooner than you think, but
Yes.
still later.
Yes. So that's why, like, unfortunately, we gotta kind of put that on the side for a moment.
Okay.
As a Dragon Ball fan, I had fun with this episode. The Bonesboro Brawl kind of reminded me a little bit of
The Tournament of Power.
yeah, like
No, not that one. The
the
what am I thinking?
Tenkaichi Budokai is like the World Martial Arts Tournament.
Is that the one where they in like the very first season of Dragon Ball where they're just like on that white platform?
Yep.
Okay, that's what it was. Okay, got it. Where he gives what villain does Goku give a sensu bean to?
Oh, Piccolo.
Was it Piccolo? I thought it was someone else.
Oh no, you're okay. You were thinking of Cell in the Cell games where
yes,
when he gives him the sensu bean before he fights Gohan, and everyone's like, "Goku, you idiot!"
What are you doing?
Don't worry about it.
Goku, canonically one of the worst dads in his anime history. Grant's the character, but my God, he's a bad dad.
That's a topic for another day.
Okay, but like Piccolo is best dad though.
Piccolo's fantastic.
Piccolo's best dad. So it some way balances out.
It does. Oh God. One day I'm gonna have an episode where I just throw Dragon Ball hot takes at you and see what you think.
Oh boy, that'll be a fun episode.
Oh God.
This just went everywhere.
Also, there's a very obscure Full Metal Alchemist reference when Amity does the I don't know what human traditions you have, but we're going to plant flowers and do things.
Oh, that very could be. Let me know on here. I've not seen Full Metal yet.
Oh,
but
it's been a hot minute.
I'm waiting to watch through because I'm going to do Full Metal and then I'm going to watch Brotherhood after because I've seen people do comparators of like certain of the aspects being different. where the power comes from in that, because obviously the manga wasn't finished and stuff like that. So I want to get both because I've heard people say parts of the original are better.
That's what I've heard too.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I just know Brotherhood is pretty much like following the manga to the letter.
well, it was actually finished when they did that.
Yeah.
So I actually got to have the manga specific ending. But anyway, yeah.
So wrapping up my thoughts on this episode, again, a lot of the second half of season 2 is I'm gonna probably repeat this a lot. This is the big one. This is the one that the fans have been looking forward to. Pretty much
Wait.
every episode is going to be that from here on out.
Wait, what's the name of the next episode?
The next one is called Them's the Breaks, Kid.
You know what episode in particular? I'm like, come on!
I know.
I'm like, oh boy, here we go!
But before we wrap this up, Brock, how are you feeling so far about season 2?
It's good. It's obviously more serious than the first one, but it's still got kookiness to it, so I'm liking it quite a bit.
Yeah, that's what I like. The more serious the story gets, they don't lose the comedy.
Mm-hmm.
That's something they maintain pretty much throughout the whole series.
Yes.
But next episode is one I like. Even like regarding what I just said, I'm personally looking forward to next episode the most. But until we get there, Misao, where can everyone find you online?
You can find me on Twitter and Blue Sky at Kivalo028.
And Brock?
Find me everywhere at Organic Zero, mainly on Twitch and YouTube.
And you guys can find me on various social media sites at Captain K42. You guys can check out my quick thoughts on letterboxd.com/CoachK42. And you can follow Renegade Pop Culture on Facebook and that place at Ren Pop Culture. You can also find us here on YouTube, on Podchaser. Consider supporting our Patreon at patreon.com/Renegade Pop Culture. Listen to all of our podcasts on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen. And last but not least, everything can be found at renegadepopculture.com. You can escape, so do we. And until next time,
Bye!
bye!